Hi, everyone, and welcome to the spring semester and Counseling 606, your second theories and techniques course. For those of you that did not have me last semester, hi, I'm glad to have you in my section of this class this semester. And for those of you that did, welcome back for yet another round with me. I'm just going to take a little bit of time right now and go over the syllabus. So if you haven't looked at that, please pause the video, pull it up, and then you can print it out later or just save it to your desktop because I am all about looking at the syllabus. So for this course, we are really going to get into the nitty-gritty of theories. And I know that for those of you that were in Teresa's course last semester, you went over some of the theories that we adhere to as counselors in the profession. But so some of this might be a touch of review, although I really try to get past just what the textbooks say about theories and theoretical orientations and provide you with up-to-date resources, peer-reviewed journal articles, links and references to where you can get additional certifications if you choose to do so. And most importantly, I think, are videos of practitioners actually demonstrating how a different theory and how different techniques are used in a counseling session. So that's an overview of the course itself. My goal in this class is for you over the course of the semester to really, one, begin to understand the wide variety of theories that are out there that are utilized daily by counselors and therapists in our field. Two, to really understand the importance of using a theory and practicing from a theoretical base in your work and continuing to do that as you progress into your career as a counselor. And three is to get the skills needed to use these theories. And we are going to be doing that through a lot of different videos. So while there's no immersion week in this particular course, you will be doing a lot of role plays with your peers, your classmates. You'll be doing 5 of those in total, actually, over the course of this semester. And then there'll be additional role plays that are taped and viewed by myself and a peer, and you'll be getting feedback on all of that. So those are my goals for this class. At the very end of the class, I repeat, end of this class, you'll be writing a theoretical orientation paper for me. Again, I know that a lot of you that had Teresa had done that in the 501 class. Ages ago, whenever I first taught this course, I did have that as an assignment in the 501 class. However, I think that the way that I've structured this class and the way that the level to which I expect that you will gain knowledge in each of these theories and then really be mindful about whether or not they sit with you and which one you feel like is calling your name. I think that the theoretical orientation paper makes more sense at the end of 606, personally. Not that there's anything wrong with doing it in 501 necessarily, but I prefer to do it in 606. And I don't even feel like those of you that have already done it would be, just redoing the same paper. I think that you'll find that you're going to be learning a lot more in this class about those particular theories. So there are a number of objectives in the course. I really expect that you all are open-minded throughout this class. A lot of students will come into this second theories and techniques class thinking, you know what, I really believe that I'm going to practice CBT whenever I am out in the real world, or motivational interviewing, or existential theories, and then you really get into it and you start to practice it with your peers and you find that it just isn't a good fit. So I really want you to keep that open mind throughout the duration of this semester, because I find with students, more students than not, that each week you're getting into a new theory and you're learning about the similarities between theories, the commonalities, those foundational aspects of all counseling theories that we covered in 501, the techniques that are used regardless of what theoretical orientation you're adhering to. And so I feel like from week to week, students oftentimes say, oh, wow, well, I thought last week I was going to do this, but this week I really like this one. And so I hope that I encourage you to keep that open mind throughout the semester. Course materials. So I do have a required textbook for this class. It is the Corey Theory and Practice of Counseling and Psychotherapy textbook. I do have a lot of supplemental materials for each course module. About a year and a half ago, I started doing a lot of work on this course, and I began to incorporate relevant information and evidence-based practice type information, videos, the like, for each course module, which is each theory, on social justice, advocacy, and multicultural issues as they relate specifically to that theoretical orientation. I also started to populate some of the modules with really current information about the use of theories like psychoanalytic theory, right, and Gestalt, and we wonder how is that relevant today whenever it was developed, so many years ago. So I do rely on the text for that foundational information. And I think it's a great text whenever it comes to studying for, the NCE exam or the CRC exam later down the road. So I would encourage you to keep the text, but I do also have a lot of different supplemental materials and required readings that come along within the modules. So assessment in terms of the class, 100 points total. My general rule of thumb, and I do put this in all of my syllabi, and I reiterate it again and again, if the expectation is that you get an 80% or above on all assignments in this class. If you fail to achieve an 80% on a particular assignment, you will be asked to remediate that particular assignment. That includes any kind of role play that you may be doing, as well as papers, or if you're really on track to not get that 80% based on your discussion posts, we would have a conversation as well. Remediating does not mean your grade changes. It just means that you are then showing me that you have redone the material, reevaluated your work, and you are continuing to make progress, to show progress in this class. And late assignments are not accepted unless you have prior approval. Of course, I'm recording this about a week before classes start really, and COVID issues are skyrocketing again. So if you get a positive COVID test, if you need some time, if you are not feeling well, if someone in your household is sick, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I am happy to provide accommodations as I can. I have to know about these things though. So if something is going on, please, by all means, just write me even the shortest email saying, Dr. Simpson, I'm sick with COVID and I cannot get you this assignment, and then sign your name and send it to me. And that would be enough for the moment to let me know that, hey, you're there, you've thought about this, you realize you're not going to make the assignment, and that way you'll be able to submit it at a later date. So in terms of assessments and the types of assessments that you're going to be seeing in this class, the first is the discussions. And I'm structuring these a little bit differently for this particular course, and I hope it works out, but some things do and some things don't. But I really want you to engage in conversation in this class. And I don't want formal conversation around these theories and application of theory and your reflection into whether or not a particular theoretical orientation might fit well with where you see yourself going as a counselor later on. So the discussions are going to be structured in a way that you are going to be required to lead a discussion one time over the course of the semester, and then the rest of the times you will just be a standard student participant in the discussion posts. I will provide prompts essentially for that discussion topic of the week, and I will be assigning you a particular week throughout the semester. I'll be doing that sooner than later so that you have ample time to prepare, especially those of you that are going to be going first in the semester. Although I'm going to have these first couple of weeks are going to be led by me, okay? I'm going to ideally show you what my expectations are in terms of leading a discussion. I'm going to show you, what my expectations are in terms of responding to a discussion post as well, and checking in. So that's essentially how it's going to work. You're going to get graded on your leadership abilities. So that's one portion of the discussion post grade. And the other portion of your grade will be on your participation throughout the remainder of the semester in discussion posts. As we always reiterate, courses open up on Friday, they close down on Thursday. The sooner you post things, the better, so that way we can get the discussions rolling. Yeah, that's all I have to say about discussions. So the second assignment that you're going to be doing is your practice counseling sessions, and associated with each of those sessions, 5 total, you're going to be doing reflective journals. So I will again assign you partners. I will be doing that sooner than later for these counseling sessions. You can obviously hold them on Zoom, so that I'm getting a recording of both participants. I apologize, and that added some confusion. You can do them on Zoom. I do not need these recorded. I'm skipping ahead in my mind. So your practice counseling sessions are just that. They are practice. So you can get together with your peer, your other classmate that I will assign to you. 30 minutes of it is you acting as the counselor. 30 minutes is you acting as the client while your classmate acts as the counselor. You just take turns basically. And at the end of all of it, then you will write a reflective journal about your experience doing that role play. I do not need to have I don't need to have a synopsis, a summary, or anything of the like about what was discussed during this role play, during this mock counseling session, the practice session. That it doesn't matter to me. I want to know how it felt for you. I want to know how it felt being in the counselor seat. I want you to start trying out the techniques using theory and letting it guide the work that you're doing. So as you know, whenever we were in the immersion week specifically, I really tried to get across the point that every counseling session, there's preparation that goes into that counseling session prior to you actually sitting with a client. And so this will hopefully get you into the habit of preparing for these counseling sessions. There's an ebb and flow, there's a pattern that goes in the counseling sessions. With the 5, I'm going to tell you kind of what the topic is in general, the first one being like an intake, the last one being a termination, and then in between, the 3 in between, you'll actually be using a specific theory and trying things out. So in terms of your reflection, when you are reflecting as your after you do 1 page as a reflection of your skills as a counselor, I want you to tell me how it felt for you. Did you use some of the techniques that you had hoped to? Did it work? Did it not work? Why did it? Why didn't it? What your goals are for the next session. When you're writing the 1 page on your experience as the client, I want you to reflect on how it felt being in the client's seat. Some of you have been a client in counseling sessions, some of you haven't. Tell me, what that experience was like for you. Again, I don't need a synopsis of what actually was talked about during the session, and I most certainly don't need anything more than 2 pages. Much like my other classes, I limit it for a reason. If you start giving me more than that, I'm probably going to send it back to you and ask you to cut down a bit. Okay. Video assignments, 4 videos. These are the ones you're going to record. So throughout the semester, you'll be tasked with recording 4 videos, 15 minutes tops, please, goodness tops, mock counseling sessions. This is with an individual of your choosing, not a family member, and most certainly not an adolescent. Got to be 18 and older, got to be somebody that can consent to this. And throughout those 4 sessions, again, you're going to be practicing that arc, that therapeutic arc. The first one being an intake type session, the second one being a termination type session. And at the end of the videos, to accompany the videos when you actually submit them, you'll have a 1-page summary of each session, and I've provided some guidelines for what that 1-page summary would look like. When it comes time, I'm going to provide you with additional instructions on how to submit the video assignments. You cannot just record something like I'm doing right now and upload it into eCampus. eCampus will start to hate you, and it just doesn't work. So there are other ways to do it that will work, and I'll provide some guidance on how to do that. Emailing me a video is not the route. I will tell you that now. It's got to be uploaded into the Dropbox so that it's there, because these things are important to have in eCampus because it's such an integral part of your development as a counselor in our program. Finally, the theoretical orientation paper, like I said, it's going to be the very, very last thing that you do. It's due at the very end of the semester, whenever burnout is at the highest, right? 4 to 5 page paper, APA style, all that good stuff. I don't want you to overly focus on this theoretical orientation paper right now, because I want you to really, again, be open to each and every one of the theories that we're going to be learning about. And then towards the end of the semester, I want you to really be reflective on which one you feel you may use whenever you get out there and start working with clients in practicum and internship and post-graduation. In addition to all of those assignments, I'm going to be recording my lectures. I've recorded lectures in the past for classes. Usually I do it on my own time and just post it. This is not a requirement, okay? I would like to shout that from the West Virginia mountaintops here. We are an asynchronous format program, and so I cannot and would not require you to be present during these lecture recordings. However, because we have Zoom now and people can sit in on these things, I will let you know when I will be recording them and provide you a link to the Zoom. I'll provide you a Zoom invite for whenever I do the recording, so you can be present if you want to be. You would have to be aware and okay with the fact that I'm recording it and will be posting the lecture in the class. But for anybody that is interested in joining a lecture, I'd be open to having participants there, and you can ask questions during that time if you like. So watch out for those. It'll be every single week. I'm thinking now it'll probably be on Thursdays, likely during the day, so I can reduce any kind of distractions from my family. My family of little people, little children, ages 1, 3, and 6, that tend to disrupt everything in my home, which is where I'm at right now, quietly because they're not here. So again, that would be my instructor lectures. Please review all the policies, especially the ones on accommodations if you need them. Please let me know. And of course, the Office of Accessibility Services sooner than later. COVID policies are still in place. And incomplete grade policies, make sure to be aware of those. Please check out the registrar and provost website so that you know what dates are the last dates to drop a class and withdraw from the university. Again, I never expect this to happen for any of my students, but things do occur and life happens. And so if you need to do that, it's better to withdraw from a course than to fail it and risk not being able to continue in the program, okay? So just be aware of when those dates are. Okay, so course schedule, I have a detailed course schedule in the syllabus, and I also have a course schedule that's a more concise course schedule that outlines when specific assignments are due. I don't really go away from that course schedule. It's pretty well set, and I don't often change things. It's a rigorous schedule for this particular class. Every single week you're going to have at least one thing due. A lot of weeks you're going to have 2 things, that just being a discussion and an assignment as well. So make sure to keep up with things. Make sure to write things down, and if you're like me, your hard copy paper planner with Post-it notes included, or, include it on whatever organizational tool you might be using. But there are a lot of different assignments, and they're all going to be due on a Thursday. I do not change that or modify that due date in terms of it being Thursday at 11:59 p.m. Finally, and last but not least, by any means, I've posted this in the announcements as well. I do have office hours. I always have office hours, but I again will have them hosted on Zoom every Wednesday from 11 until 2. The Zoom link for those office hours is included for you on the course announcements page. If you lose it, let me know, and I can send it out to you again. In addition to that, if you need to meet with me, the best way to schedule a meeting is through my Calendly. I think a lot of you are already familiar with how that works with me, and I like it. I really like it, actually. I try to schedule my personal life stuff on my Outlook calendar too, so that I don't double book. But how that works is you click on the link, you pick a day, you pick a time, it books it for us, it puts an actual appointment on our Outlook calendars. I can go back in later and add the Zoom link to my personal meeting room for us to talk. I am happy to talk with any of you at any point about the work that you're doing in this class. I really do want to support your growth and development throughout the semester in this course. It's such an important course for you to be learning theory and for you to be learning techniques, not only because it is something that is a staple on all the certification exams, but because theory guides the work that we do. It never should not guide the work that we do. If you're practicing without theory, to me, you're practicing unethically. And so this is such an important class because it's a nice little gateway into the options that are available for you. So I like it. I think it's a lot of fun. A lot of individuals, a lot of students get really, heightened levels of anxiety when you do the recordings. Again, I'd like to reiterate that I know that we're coming in at a certain baseline. I'm familiar with all of you and the work that you've done through the immersion week last semester. So I have a good idea of where you might be coming from. And nerves tend to kind of dissipate as the semester goes along. And as you know, get through all the role plays and all the videos, then you become, really great and comfortable at working on Zoom and recording yourself. So, all right, with that, kept it around 20 minutes, woohoo, to me. And if you have any questions, please post them on the discussion board. I have a special discussion thread for questions for Dr. Simpson. Happy to answer them there, especially if they are, a question that some other classmate might have. And I will speak with you all again through the video lectures and some discussion posts. I might just post a video of myself as well. So I look forward to this semester. I hope we have a lot of fun, and Happy New Year to everybody.